this, but let's get started with that. And the first thing we're going to talk about in today's news is IGN pulls review after plagiarism accusations. Of course, I've got the Kotaku article up here. The gaming Kotaku says here, and I know it sounds like me regurgitating stuff. The gaming site IGN has removed a review for the game Dead Cells after allegations surfaced yesterday that the review's writer had plagiarized from a small YouTube channel. Of course, the smaller YouTube channel was Boomstick Gaming, which is, they're, I would say, a medium-sized channel. Maybe they're bigger than me. They're still a small creator, but they're larger than my channel. But they're certainly much smaller than IGN. And Philip Mewison, I think that's how you say his name, was the guy that was supposed to review Dead Cells, and a lot of what he did was copying Boomstick's review verbatim. And I'm not talking about the plagiarism where it's kind of maybe some of the same jargon being used, like roguelite, not just that, or saying Metroidvania, or some of these things that we use to label these games. Nothing like that at all. I'm talking about the verbiage, direct sentences lifted up. I mean, as you watch these side by side, you can easily tell that, yes, it was in fact plagiarism right out. The Nintendo editor, Philip Mewison, I think that's how you say his name. I'm not sure if I'm saying that wrong. I apologize. But he has been let go from IGN because of this. That news broke earlier today. Matter of fact, update 7:20 p.m. yesterday evening. IGN has let go. Mewison writing in a statement that it plans to re-review Dead Cells. We apologize to our readers, developer, Motion Twin, and most especially to the YouTuber known under Boomstick Gaming for failing to uphold those standards, the outlet said. Here's some of the an example of the plagiarism. This combat system is fast, fluid, responsive, and one of the most rewarding representations of tubing contact of the entire genre. It reads Boomstick Gaming's video, and then you have IGN's video that says fights are fast and fluid, responsive, and hands down one of the most gratifying representations of video game combat that I've ever experienced. There was many of these examples. As you can see, I'm just scrolling down through here. Boomstick Gaming. In most games of this genre, your cool skills and spells are often set to strictly long recharge timers or limited mana system, but in Dead Cells, your abilities have incredibly quick recharges and allow you to seamlessly integrate these gadgets into normal encounters, and it doesn't make you feel penalized for using your cool stuff. Philip Mewison's review says most games limit most of your useful skills with a long cooldown timers or a limited mana system, but Dead Cells encourages you to use your deadliest gadgets with a fast recharge timer, and it never punishes you for using your best tactics. The structure, a lot of the same verbiage, it's plagiarism for pretty much verbatim. They just the reviewer Philip pretty much just copied Boomstick, and that's not cool. For one, being a small creator, a medium-sized creator, it's very hard work to get these reviews out to you, because you got to play the game, you got to capture your own footage, you got to edit that footage down to what to your talking points, write the review, structure it and write it, then you got to edit everything together and publish it, and it could take sometimes a day or two to actually get a review like this up. So it is a lot of hard work. It's a lot of hours that goes into a video like this. I know, because I used to do that pre-recorded content on a daily basis here on the YouTube on my YouTube channel. So I know that there's a lot of hard work that goes there. So it sucks. It really, really sucks that that this guy did this. This Philip, this IGN Nintendo editor. It just sucks that he did this. I know that a lot of people say that, well, people plagiarize the news all the time and things like that. Thank you, Augur of Doom, for those biddies. Appreciate it, man. And welcome back, producer of the show. I do know that a lot of times when people read these news articles, they are regurgitating a lot of the same information, and sometimes you can call that plagiarism, but I think a lot of people are more inclined to just get the facts right and then give you their own opinion or their own value on top of that. Like, I just read some of this article. I told you where I got it from, read some of it, and now I'm giving you my opinion. And I think that's transformative enough to not say that it's plagiarism. Even though I'm using someone else's content, this, of course, being written by Jason Schreier of Kotaku. However, when it comes to reviews, that's something completely different. I don't know if Philip just watched Boomstick's review and then, was super pleased. Like, this is how I want to. This is my review. This is how I feel best represents how I feel about the game. I don't even know if Philip even actually played the game at all, because he copied so much of what Boomstick had to say. And what really sucks about this is people go to certain reviewers to get their take on a game. And if you break that trust by plagiarizing somebody else, or break that trust by lying and not presenting your own personal opinions about that product in the review, then that's a black eye, especially for an organization as big as IGN. And that's unfortunate. Now, in my opinion, I don't think this is representative of IGN as a whole. I think this new guy, Philip Misuin, who is a brand new IGN Nintendo editor. I think that maybe he was nervous that, it was his first video review, and he thought that, there's a lot of pressure. All eyes are on me. I got to get this right. And he thought that he was going to dig deep into the YouTube, deep into the YouTube underground and find a review that best matched how he felt about the game. And, one that he didn't think was going to get a whole lot of reviews, and post it as his own, try to pass it off as his own, and that's just not cool, man. That's not cool. And unfortunately for IGN, a lot of people are going to be looking at IGN. Oh, they do fake reviews. They just steal other people's content, and that's unfortunate, because I don't think that's how it works, and I don't think that's how IGN wants to be represented. Me personally, I think this is an isolated incident, and I think that IGN took the proper precautions by removing the review right away, running their own investigation, and then on the conclusion, there was a consequence, so they let Philip go, and I think they handled it very well. But that's my opinion. Let me know what your opinion is. Of course, if you're watching on YouTube, down in the comments, Twitch chat, I will talk with you guys about this here in a little bit. All right, moving on to our next story, though. Fallout 76 won't launch on Steam. Fallout 76 won't launch its beta, and it won't launch its the full game, either one, on Steam. You'll have to actually go to Bethesda.net to buy it and use the Bethesda launcher to get Fallout 76. And Fortnite does this. Matter of fact, all of Epic Games does this. I can see Bethesda wanting to do this. Origins, Uplay, a lot of people download all their stuff for Steam, and it's so that they're self-publishing on PC, and I can't be mad at them for that, because these platforms like PlayStation and Xbox and Steam, they take a percentage of those sales for advertising it on their storefronts and stuff. So if they can just bypass that and not pay Steam anything and just present the game there for you right away, well, that makes sense. If they can take 100% of the profits back to themselves, that makes a whole lot of sense. And what really sucks for gamers, though, is sometimes these games go on huge, massive sales after they've been out for a while. And is that gonna translate to Bethesda? How's that friends list going to work? How's that? A lot of the games that release on Steam use the Steam community integration with it. So what are they going to do? You know, are you going to have a Fallout 76 account where you know, how many accounts are you going to have for each one of these services that brings you their games? It kind of sucks for the gamers, really. It's not as convenient for players, but I understand why the publisher wants to do it. Publishers just looking at their bottom line and their profits, and that makes sense. So it works for the publisher. However, the gamers kind of suffer a little bit because of some of the features and systems that are in place that they're used to. They're not going to be able to use. They're not going to be able to use the Steam's friends list, for example. So that kind of sucks. But like I said, I completely understand why Bethesda's going this route, and why Epic Games does the same thing. Who is it? Blizzard with their Battle.net or whatever it is. It's got World of Warcraft. It's got Overwatch. It's got the Hearthstone. I completely get why they do it. It's to keep all the profits from games like this and not have to give up any of those profits. If you're wondering about Fable is it's looking good. If you're not familiar, Fable Legends was shut down. Lionhead Studios was officially closed by Microsoft, so Fable's future was in kind of a limbo there for a while. Well, it turns out that the people behind Forza Horizon series, Playground Games, is opening up, expanding their studio to work on an open world RPG, and they've hired some big name players to come in, including ex-Mass Effect devs, former Batman devs, and a lot of these other games. Someone who was an environmental artist on Star Wars Battlefront 2. It's just a whole bunch of people. We're going to read a little bit of this. Playgrounds Games, the studio behind the Forza Horizon series, has been working on an unannounced action RPG for some time, and all the big rumors point to it being a new entry in the Fable series. Now the studio has announced a number of big-name new hires for the project with experience on some of the most significant and best titles of the past several years. Scotty Brown joins the team as principal environmental artist, coming over from the same position on Star Wars Battlefront 2. Noel Lukaswich joins the team as lead environmental artist after 13 years at BioWare, working primarily on the Mass Effect series. Narrative director Martin Lancaster joins from Rocksteady Studios after serving in senior writing roles on the recent Batman Arkham games. So, and then you got more people. Chris Goodall coming from Ninja Theory as a principal animator, after working on Enslaved, Devil May Cry, Hellblade. Lead technician Rob Den Decker joins the QA team. As the Game Industry Biz notes in the full announcement, his credits include the first two Fable game titles. New hires also include UI artist Joe McKennaran, who's returning to Playground after parting to work on Horizon Zero Dawn and Destiny 2. So they're getting people who are really good at making open world games and open world RPGs and huge set pieces and environmental skills to come in and work on this game, which, you know, if you want to put out an open world RPG and you've never done it before, of course you go out and hire the best talent out there. And so good on them for Microsoft and Playground Games for seeking out new talent to their studio. And hopefully this open world RPG will be awesome. And hopefully it goes in Xbox's way, because you got to remember, Xbox owns Playground Games. So you know, they can't have a catastrophe with canceling games at the last minute like they did with Fable Legends or with Scalebound. They've really got to start putting that quality content out there. And, you know, they made a big promise saying that they acquired all these studios. Now this is, you know, putting those acquisitions into motion and giving them work to do on products and furthering that promise of future products. So good on Xbox, because they need it. Their lackluster content has really hurt them when you've got their sole console competitor just, you know, releasing God of War this year and Detroit Become Human. They got Spider-Man coming out in a month or two. You know, that's really, really putting the screws to Xbox as far as software sales go. But anyway, guys, I just... again, these are all my opinions. And that's what I think. Let me know what you guys think about all these news stories down in the comments below if you're watching on YouTube. In the meantime, I'm going to go discuss these with my Twitch chat. And thank you so much for watching, and have a good day. Remember, you can catch this show live over at twitch.tv/stando. Till next time, guys, have a good one.